I know you, Aquarius, by the truths that move the world forward, by the way the day is always new in your eyes. I know you by your willingness to embrace all the possibilities as yet untried, by the way your mind is open and free, because you're not afraid to dream your tomorrow dreams. For Aquarius is the product of today and the producer of tomorrow, and is convinced the best is yet to come if we are not afraid to let it happen.
I have seen you, Aquarius, looking for causes, meditating, testing ideas, trying to change things, living your life your way, asking everyone to do the same, never judging, knowing the ideal is achieved only when every person can be what they are.
I have heard you, Aquarius, easing pain with sympathy, asking for the truth and telling the truth any way you can, pleading the cause of the forgotten and the denied, believing in the new thought, the new language, and always believing in tomorrow and the rainbow.
Aquarius, your word is liberal, from the Latin liberalis, meaning freedom.
If your picture of a boss is a gray-haired patriarch who is the very essence of the old school and gives one the sense of institutional thinking, and who has the soothing attitude of an airline pilot, don't work for an Aquarius. He is nobody's patriarch, has a built-in suspicion of institutions, and couldn't con you into feeling secure if his life or yours depended on it. But nevertheless, he'll bring another dimension to leadership. There will be no uniform of the day and very few formalities, but he'll expect and get a day's work. If change doesn't throw you, and a boss who wears shoulder-length hair and subscribes to underground newspapers doesn't make you feel insecure, this is a working experience no one should miss. You will learn to deal with the unexpected, and to catch the quick pass when he had called an end run. If you can do it, you'll always be ready for anything.
You have a desk open in your firm. What you'd like is a crew-cut, collar-and-tie young man who will fit in well with the athletic club set and do some public relations good at the Young Republicans League. A very all-American kind of fellow who thinks straight and shoots straight, like John Wayne. Don't hire an Aquarian. You wouldn't understand him. He's neither of this country, this world, or this time. This is tomorrow's child, and he brings back the inspirations and ideas of tomorrow. He won't be on you about raises and bonuses, because his needs are not essentially financial. But don't get too used to it. He'll be moving on soon. You see, he has to be him. But if he should stay, consider yourself flattered. How many bosses can say, instead of a Christmas bonus, they gave a man himself, and he was grateful. What makes Aquarius nonconformist? Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. Uranus moves in a direction contrary to that of the other planets, with the exception of Neptune. This gives the Aquarian a different perspective and allows him to see life through a different set of eyes and to have a different set of values by which to live.
What makes Aquarius social? Uranus is the planet of change. The Aquarian's true reality is the state of man and his eventual destination. So the Aquarian works for the possibilities of mankind and the perfect society. He is motivated by the creed that says, we must not forget each other.
What makes Aquarius evolved? Uranus stresses the higher planes of human existence, causing the native to rise above physical considerations to the plane of spiritual existence, allowing him to touch the coming state of man's survival and to belong more to what man can be than what he has been.
What makes Aquarius? Progress. Uranus is disruptive, and Uranus rules Aquarius. Because others are, doesn't mean you are not. The Aquarian with the ram moon has this to learn. Your way is your way, and if it works for you, fine. But someone else may have a way of their own. And it may not be the best, but it is theirs. To be suspect of an opinion or a way because it isn't yours can place you in that never-never land that is neither have or have not. With a bit more faith in others, you can make things come off. Better to share the credit than carry the debt alone.
An idealist who loves people as well as causes. That's the water bearer with the moon in Taurus. This is also the addition of a fixed air sign to a fixed earth sign, and change is not a welcome idea. You are a constant one, and are at ease when everything around you keeps going as it has. You are not someone in a hurry, and you insist on the luxury of free choice, even though it slows you down.
The Aquarian need to know the truth, aided by the Gemini need to express it, is the natural result of the Aquarian moon in the sign of the Twin. There may be an inclination towards drifting, and outsiders may not be able to find definition in your pattern, but it's there. You make your own picture puzzle, and the pieces fit. Once completed, the picture is a true reflection of what the mind can accomplish when it has the time and the need.
The moon in Cancer increases sensitivity and the love of home in any native. But when it is added to the Aquarian sign, these two factors become even more evident. Your reactions are more likely to be emotional than intellectual. You are also one of the most intuitive natives in the Zodiac. This is the result of the Aquarian feeling for people and the moon child's quality of absorption and susceptibility.
There is an inner struggle between mind and emotions when the Aquarian moon is in Leo. You can never be sure from one moment to the next which will take the lead. Beyond this confusion, there are the positives: imagination, warmth, a belief in people, and a dignity in manner. There is also a loving nature and a desire to be seen and known. This combination not only believes in utopia, but often tries to make it a reality.
You have the clear eye with a head that's all together when the Aquarian moon is in Virgo. Preciseness is your way, and order is the order of the day. Loose ends, unfinished business, unresolved situations can get you uptight. You're the one who'll stay up all night waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're cautious, critical, and correct.
The Aquarian moon in Libra provides the world with another love person. You are one of the imaginative people who seek the beautiful things and regard the world with a kind, soft eye. Wherever you are, whether it be thick forests or concrete jungles, there's always space enough for the spirit to live in, and a reason for a song to be sung.
It's hurrah for me when Aquarius has its moon in Scorpio. Your existence will never be a secret, and no one will be more aware that you exist than you. Positive you are, powerful you are, with a drive that dominates everyone with whom you come in contact. There is only one person that you truly bet on, and you're it. Most people are forced to admit it's a good bet.
When the Aquarian moon is in Sagittarius, the Aquarian love of social truth and the Sagittarian's love of beauty combine to inspire independence of thought and imagination. You're an individual who doesn't bend where principles are concerned. There's the element of freedom in everything you do. There's also, of course, the Sagittarian impulsiveness, which needs containment. You can blow your cool and blow a deal in a matter of moments.
Your country, right or wrong, is the Aquarian attitude when the moon is in Capricorn. This is the sign of the super patriot, the public servant, and someone born to have a voice in the working of his country, whether by holding office or by making his vote count. You are a serious native who doesn't take either yourself or your responsibilities lightly. This quality makes you a favorite of your superiors and of the public, both of whom contribute essentially to your success.
The water-bearer with his moon, also in Aquarius, knows how to think. This is a brainy combination, the natural intellect of Aquarius being compounded. You not only think, but you think positively. In fact, there is very little about you that is not constructive and positive. You are more inclined to live in a small circle than in the world, but wherever you live with taste and dignity.
The Aquarian with a Piscean moon is a student in his heart, and the more you satisfy this natural inclination, the more substantial you become. If you try to fly by the seat of your pants or to play things by ear, you can drift into some other kind of reality that has no value. But with the foundation of facts and reference, your fancy can scale to heights where few have the ability to venture. You will see mysteries revealed that most will never know. Four is the number of good givingness, and the gifts of the life power are measured out. It is the Aquarian dream that each will have his fair portion. 4 is the symbol of all things expressing and none failing. This is the world of Aquarius. 4 is the sign of memory, meaning that nothing that lives will be forgotten. This is the reflection of Aquarian's hope. 77 years ago, the man said, we created a new idea, that all men are created equal, and Aquarius wants to see that promise kept. 400,000 years ago, man lived in a cave. 400 years from now, he may live in the stars, and Aquarius will have pointed the way. Four are the corners of the earth, and the Aquarian sense of social justice extends to each and every corner.
Because opal contains many in one, because it holds the light of many colors, allowing them to form a single idea, it is the Aquarian gem. An opal is essentially the stone of friendship. It is a stone which blends and creates harmony in what otherwise would be individual colors, striving for identity. It symbolizes the Aquarian idea because the Aquarian dream is the dream of all being allowed to be what they are. But opal, though friendly and multicolored, does not dramatize or make important one single color. And the Aquarian has this to remind him, that in the attention to many, the cause of the individual can be lost.
Color Aquarius an electric blue. As blue as the inner part of the flames of furnaces, blowtorches, and all the fires that say, men are working here. As blue as the sky which serves as a blanket for everyone. For the Aquarian forgets no one, whether he toils in the bellies of ships or seals metal on the high beams of skyscrapers. You, Aquarius, contained in the soft blue heart of Uranus, must understand that every man is not born perfect, and that sometimes the causes far exceed some of the individuals they intend to serve.
So Aquarius, remember the number 4 and forget no one. Long for the harmony of the opal. Know that the sky is everyone's blanket. If you will just remember that in the many, someone significant can be lost.
The Aquarian begins with a need to need. There must be something in this whole world one can care about, and this is what he wants to find. In time, he'll find an infinite variety. He is, in truth, the arrow which points the way to tomorrow. And so, in this time, in this place, there are some problems posed. The first one is, he doesn't seem to fit into the picture gracefully. He is afflicted with being different. He thinks differently, he feels differently, and he has a built-in set of responses that very few can fathom. His head may be in the clouds, but his heart is in the right place. It is with people, and they are very important to him. It's just so difficult to convince anyone of this when you're young. One thing he'll always have, and that is friends. He'll collect them like other kids collect match covers, autographs, and marbles. He will not rebel against authority. He will simply refuse to acknowledge its existence. His thought will always be, if it is suspect.
In his second season, the young Aquarian begins his odyssey. No road will be too remote, no avenue too crowded. He will travel them all. He'll turn up in places most people never knew existed. The difficulty is that there are so many wrongs in the world. Where does one begin? What good is it to have a message from tomorrow when you can't make people listen? Aquarians have the problem of remembering, and that is because they are remembering the future. Finding a place is the water-bearer's dilemma.
In his third season, the Aquarian who has arrived discovers that in one you may find all. In one job you serve the cause of work. In one cause you serve all causes. In one love you know all love. For the Aquarian has the greatest contribution to make. It is the talent for seeing beyond notion to truth, of being able to see beyond the necessity of the moment to the necessity of tomorrow.
In his final season, the water-bearer is still unconventional, still stating the ideal yet to be, still telling the world that it has a long way to go. Loved by many, idolized by the young, and very close to wisdom, if not in the heart of it, and possessing the gift that men have always longed for, the gift of prophecy. For Aquarians, men and women alike, to become is to care. And they know the satisfaction of having reached above themselves to embrace other people and greater realities. The Aquarian begins with a need to need. There must be something in this whole world one can care about, and this is what he wants to find. In time, he'll find an infinite variety. He is, in truth, the arrow which points the way to tomorrow. And so, in this time, in this place, there are some problems posed. The first one is, he doesn't seem to fit into the picture gracefully. He is afflicted with being different. He thinks differently, he feels differently, and he has a built-in set of responses that very few can fathom. His head may be in the clouds, but his heart is in the right place. It is with people, and they are very important to him. It's just so difficult to convince anyone of this when you're young. One thing he'll always have, and that is friends. He'll collect them like other kids collect match covers, autographs, and marbles. He will not rebel against authority. He will simply refuse to acknowledge its existence. His thought will always be, if it is suspect.
In his second season, the young Aquarian begins his odyssey. No road will be too remote, no avenue too crowded. He will travel them all. He'll turn up in places most people never knew existed. The difficulty is that there are so many wrongs in the world. Where does one begin? What good is it to have a message from tomorrow when you can't make people listen? Aquarians have the problem of remembering, and that is because they are remembering the future. Finding a place is the water-bearer's dilemma.
In his third season, the Aquarian who has arrived discovers that in one you may find all. In one job you serve the cause of work. In one cause you serve all causes. In one love you know all love. For the Aquarian has the greatest contribution to make. It is the talent for seeing beyond notion to truth, of being able to see beyond the necessity of the moment to the necessity of tomorrow.
In his final season, the water-bearer is still unconventional, still stating the ideal yet to be, still telling the world that it has a long way to go. Loved by many, idolized by the young, and very close to wisdom, if not in the heart of it, and possessing the gift that men have always longed for, the gift of prophecy. For Aquarians, men and women alike, to become is to care. And they know the satisfaction of having reached above themselves to embrace other people and greater realities.
I believe that cosmic religious sense is one of the strongest and noblest motives behind scientific research. Albert Einstein. I hold it for certain that the celestial bodies have in them certain other influences besides heat and light. I have practiced astrology, and you have not. If I do not condemn it, how can you presume to do so? Sir Francis Bacon. It is the stars above us, governs our conditions. William Shakespeare. Ye stars, which are the poetry of heaven, in your bright leaves we would read the fate of men and empires. Lord Byron. Astrology is astronomy brought down to earth and applied to the affairs of man. Ralph Waldo Emerson. We of the fixed stars have rejected the message of the wanderers of the sky. Do they not tell us of things to come as well as of things long past, buried in the racial memory of man? Henry Miller. It is the very error of the moon. She comes more near to earth than she was wont, and makes men mad. From Othello by William Shakespeare. We are born at a given moment, in a given place. And like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and the season in which we are born. Astrology does not lay claim to anything more. Carl Jung.